I've worked for years to bring the Texas model of successful prison reforms nationwide, and this law will help us close the revolving door of recidivism for Americans looking for a second chance on life. This is a great example of what we can do when we achieve what we bring ideas that work from our home states, the laboratories of democracy, to Congress. During a congressional meeting over the course of these past few weeks, my fellow senators and I have come to the conclusion that we will be implementing this Texas-based prison system and reforming it into two new ways. From the utmost respect I have for the taxpayers of the great state of Texas, I personally made sure to save every single penny that you already contribute towards the government and form a coalition to strike down any proposition that would increase the amount of money you are already giving in taxes. The First Step Act was a whole government effort that required input from both sides of the aisle and law enforcement groups to make this bill stronger. I'm gratified by President Trump's support in the past passage of the First Step Act bill. We have officially reformed the First Step Act bill with bipartisan support and the support of President Biden. I made sure to continue and include provisions from Texas's prison reform legislation, which was modeled after the successful reforms, which were the risk assessment provisions, reducing prison spending, expanding recidivism and reduction programming, partnership with our faith-based and community-based organizations, credit towards pre-release custody, improving prisoner reentry, good time credit, protecting vulnerable prison populations, and correctional officer and prison guard provisions. These two reforms that I propose will save the taxpayers of this country millions of dollars and will help to, as I've mentioned before, put a stop to the revolving door of recidivism in this country. Both of my provisions were passed in the Senate hearing, and the first has been co-sponsored by Senators Durbin, Senator Blackburn, Senator Padilla, Senator Sass, Senator Lee, Senator Grassley, and has support from every member of the Senate. The second reform I introduced will be co-sponsored by Senator Blackburn, Senator Lee, and Senator Grassley, and also passed in the Senate. The First Act, as of recent, only applies to federal prisons. This means that most of the prison population is housed in state prisons, as of now, not federal prisons. This costs more money to our taxpayers around the country, which is unacceptable. With the new reforms, states will be encouraged via tax cuts and grants to implement the Texas-based prison system in their own states, which will help to reduce the recidivism rates of our citizens. The second reform that I introduced would help provide transparency in government's funding of the First Step Act. This would also give access to all of the constituents of this program to know directly where their contribution is going towards. As of now, there is no congressional budget office score. But with this reform, it would not only be available to the public at all times, but also easily accessible to the average internet user. The First Step Act received endorsements from the Texas Fraternal Order of Police, the Texas Municipal Police Association, the Texas Public Policy Foundation, American Conservative Union, Prison Fellowship, the Fraternal Order of Police, the National Association of Countries, the National Conference of State Legislators, and the Council of State Governments. With the support of us, the Texas people, we will be able to implement our prison system program throughout the country, which will save millions of dollars of our taxpayer money. I want to thank every great Texan across the state for your time and listening.